Welcome to Rise Above Performance Training's 15 Minutes of Strength, the show where we explore and discuss the vast landscape of strength to help us live our best and strongest lives. I'm your host, Doug Fiorinelli, and this is episode 8. Is it okay to work out every day? Is it okay to work out every day? Short answer, yes. Okay, podcast episode over. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Bad joke aside, yes, it is okay to work out every day, and I'll tell you how to do it and maybe why you want to do it, but you have to lay out certain ground rules and kind of understand what you're doing. Now, the first thing is we want to distinguish between working out and training. Now, with my superiority complex, I rarely call it working out. I always think I'm training because it just sounds better and it sounds more important. But in actuality, there is a little bit of a difference if we use the definitive terms. Working out, I would just say, is general working out, whether it be weight training or jogging or bicycling. This is general GPP or general preparation training to do something better, like on the weekends. If you're doing, like I like to do archery, or if you like to ski, these things help you become better for, just general tasks that you want to do later on in life or on the weekends, or even just be able to run around with your kids and play sports with them. Training, however, is a little more specific. It is actual training for something, whether it be a marathon or a kettlebell long cycle competition. These have to be much more structured, and you're probably not going to be able to work out every day in a sense when you do those things because you don't want to overtrain. And with the training being so specific, you have to make sure that you're hitting your numbers, hitting your goals, hitting your mileage. And, that comes at a cost. And it also comes at a cost that you need to rest on off days or do other things on off days. With part one here, if you are working out for general purpose and general life strength and ability, working out every day is okay. If we are training for something specific, we have to stick with the program and incorporate those rest days to make sure we recover so we do our best on the actual event. When we're working out, and let's say we're working out every day, like we just talked about with the training program, we have a specific training program. It's like, we have to do this today. We have to run 8 miles, or we have to do intervals, or we have to lift this much weight. And we try our best to hit those numbers. If you're working out every day, you can be a little more liberal and discerning about what you're going to do. I personally work out every day, and I like to, kind of check in with my body before, during, and after the program to see where I'm at and to see what I'm going to do that day, and also maybe the next day, and if I did too much or too little. For example, in the morning, I just, general speaking, I see if I spring up out of bed or if I'm, hobbling out of bed, then I kind of know I either need a little bit more warm up or I'm going to have to rein it in a little bit during that day. I am generally doing some type of mobility in the morning, again, to see where my body's at. Are my traps tight? Is my low back tight? Or am I feeling really good? Am I moving fluidly? Then I'll pretty much have a good training day, and I can count on doing things that are a little bit more aggressive. Let's say I can do a little bit heavier deadlift, or I can do a little bit more kettlebell work. Then I kind of assess during the workout, see how my workout's going. So let's say I'm doing a deadlift workout, and I did my first set at a certain weight, and I'm like, wow, that feels pretty good. I'm going to move up. Or I did a set and I'm like, you know what? I'm not feeling that strong. Maybe I'll keep the reps high, but I won't go up in weight, and I want to do the lift, but I'm not going to push the weight today. I'm just going to keep that weight where it's at and then get my work in. But days that I'm feeling good, I'm maybe like, oh, you know what? I'm going to drop the reps and I'm going to go for it a little bit more and see where I can go. And then after, when I'm doing my stretching and cool down, I'm going to see how the workout affected me. Am I starting to stiffen up? Well, maybe, it's a good workout and I just need to stretch out a little bit more, or maybe I did too much. Or do I feel like I have a lot of gas left in the tank? That's not necessarily a bad thing, but it means like, I could go a little bit harder tomorrow, or, I could have done one more set or 2 more sets or another exercise during the workout to get a little bit more fatigue or the results I want during that workout itself. So listen to your body. If you're going to work out every day, get really in tune with that, and you'll have better workouts, you'll have better recovery, and you'll be able to work out every day and prolong your activity and avoid injury. Next, we're going to talk about variability. Again, if we're training for something specific like a marathon, you're going to be running a lot. Now, training every day allows for a lot of variability. Now, workouts can be pretty much anything. I personally don't count general just moving around, like me picking up people's weights and setting up bars in the gym or walking around, as a workout. But there are some days when I consider a 4-mile hike in the mountains a workout. That is my workout for the day. There's also days where I do a 10-minute row set or a 15-minute row set, which isn't very long, but that is my workout. So I try to do something, or even like a yoga class, either if I do it online or watch a DVD. Yes, I still watch some DVDs, workout DVDs. So that could be my workout. Or there's some days when I'm pretty much in the gym 5 days a week and I'm doing some type of lifting. Now my lifting can be, I want to do a little bit more endurance thing. So I'm going to pick the kettlebells up and do some long cycle sets or snatch sets. Or I'm going to do some heavier weights and I'm going to do a little bit low reps, but I'm going to either do back squats or I'm going to do deadlifts. That's going to be my workout for the day. Again, I'm going to check in with my body and I'm going to see how I'm feeling that day and then kind of what I want to do. Generally, I also try to kind of have some general ideas of what I want to accomplish during the week, and I have no time days or times that I'm going to do those things. For example, I like to keep pull-ups in my routine twice a week. I notice that if I do not do pull-ups, I get very bad at them very quickly. Not that I'm great at them right now, but I got to make sure I keep them in there so I can keep doing them. I also like to keep deadlifts in there. I like to keep some type of squat in there. But I also, want to keep in, I kind of mix things in. Like right now I'm doing a lot of Turkish get-ups and windmills because I've been neglecting those, and then maybe I'll flip it around some other weeks. So I have those core exercises I do. Now I don't have specific days that I do them on. However, if I'm feeling good, let's say I'm feeling strong, my knee feels good, I'm going to do squats and I'm going to get that done that day because I am feeling good. I feel ready to squat both physically and mentally, and I'm going to take care of that because that's what I want to do during the week. And if there's days when I'm not feeling good, it's very easy to kind of sit back and relax, but it's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to do a little more mobility and I'm only do body weight exercises today. I'm only going to do strap push-ups and bar inverted rows, calf raises, or I'll do some mini band walks or rotator cuff work. I still got it in, but I didn't stress my body or my nervous system out too much, but I still did things that I needed to do and wanted to do for that week. So not only is listening to that body help out in this respect, but also that variability of not programming specific days like the old ways of like the Weeder days where you're like, okay, Monday is National Bench Press and Back Day. We don't need to do that. We can have that on a Wednesday. It's okay. The world is not going to collapse into a fiery ball and then fall into a water pit and go away because you did bench press on a Wednesday. It is okay. Trust me. So with those variabilities and listening to your body, you also want to incorporate more mobility and recovery. Because you are working out every day, you have to make sure that you're able to work out the next day. And it includes the boring stuff. I recommend some generic mobility in the beginning. So I get away with this because I do it a lot with my classes. So I'll do some just basic mobility and then I add my own in. My hips get very tight, especially if I haven't if I've done squats or deadlifts and I didn't stretch enough the night before I go to sleep, my hips get very tight. So I do a lot of hip work. I always like to check in with my shoulder because those tend to get tight. If I've been on the computer and my traps are tight, I want to make sure if I'm doing jerks or cleans or something kettlebell related, I got to make sure my shoulders are mobile. So I usually start off with basic mobility, body weight stuff, walks and crawls, rock backs. I recommend checking out Original Strength. They have a lot of simple body weight kind of flow movements that are really easy to learn. And also Gold Medal Bodies. I do a lot of that in my workout as my warm-ups, and they really help me kind of try to get mobile. And it's just something I'm going to have to stick with and progress with. And I generally feel better when I do them. Next is making sure that you warm up well. So if I'm going to do a squat, let's say it's not going to be my first thing. I'm going to do maybe some light RDLs with a bar, or I'm going to do an overhead squat with a band over my head. And I want to make sure that I'm warmed up really well. Make sure I really want to commit to the squat to that day. There'll be times like, wow, even the warm-ups are very difficult. Maybe I don't want to do squat today. I'll just stick with what I'm doing and do some single leg exercise instead and not stress myself out, because I will not recover well, or I can potentially injure myself. So make sure you have a set where you're warming up or doing something before the big lift. And then you can do your big lift, and then you can, kind of use some ancillary exercise, whether it's like single leg work or single upper body work. And then make sure you stretch out and do some things at the end to recover. I like to do a little bit of breathing work while I'm taking deep breaths in and relaxing my body at the end to kind of calm my nervous system down, get into the parasympathetic, where I'm just relaxing instead of being amped up all the time, and stretching things out, especially my hips. Again, they seem like to never get better, but I'm trying to get them not to be worse. So stretching those out. Lastly, as we talked about, training every day, I do think it's a good idea to have things on the calendar that you're training for something. And this is a few reasons why I recommend this. One, it gets you out of your training comfort zone. Having something on the list or something to look forward to, much like working all the time and then having that vacation in June, that will give you something to strive for. Much like kids look for their summer vacation. They work hard, they do their finals, and then they get a reward. So training can be a reward, or, that event can be your reward, or even after the event can be your reward. So have something to train for. Now, it doesn't have to be anything, crazy or too specific, I'd say, or getting way out of your comfort zone. But if you enjoy bicycling or, doing team and training, I recommend trying a 10K. You don't have to do a marathon, but a 10K would be great. So that way you can kind of get out of your current routine. So let's say you're weightlifting 5 days a week. Now maybe you'll weightlift 2 to 3 days a week, and then you'll run a little bit more and meet people in a group and, train your body in a different way. That really can see, one, where your training has taken you. So has all that weight training really helped you out and, helped your running process? And then two, it's just train your body in a different way. One, you won't get bored. And two, you're really challenging yourself in a different way, training your muscles in a different way, and just becoming very well-rounded. And I think that's something to consider. And also just, keeps the body going and keeps the mind going. Personally, I tend to do maybe a kettlebell competition a year. I am by no means great at kettlebells, but I just really compete against myself. And that's kind of why I like the kettlebells. And I just like to see if I can do a few more reps or do something, a little bit more challenging, or can I do double kettlebells for an hour of long cycle? And, that really pushes me to focus my training on a few things, focuses my recovery, and I'm able to really have something to look forward to in the future and to accomplish a goal. We all love goals. And if we're working out every day and we're not striving for a specific goal, sometimes it's very easy to fall off the bandwagon, or it's very easy to be complacent and kind of stay static and stay safe in your workouts. And by safe, I don't mean, jumping onto a 30-foot box when we have no business doing that. Safe, I mean, okay, I just kind of waddle about the gym and I do a few machine rows and I do a few machine leg presses at very lightweight, and then I move on. Unfortunately, the body needs a little bit of stress to adapt. We need to push ourselves every once in a while and keep ourselves honest. And I think competing or training for something is a good way to do that once a year without hurting yourself. So I want to thank you all for joining me today. I hope you found this information valuable and it helps you on your working out everyday routine. If you like the podcast, please consider subscribing. We're on all the major platforms. Also, please consider signing up for the newsletter at riseabovestrength.com. It's a monthly newsletter, and it's full of videos and podcast information like this. Also, consider subscribing to the Rise Above Performance Training YouTube page, where I have all the workouts and tutorials on how to do things up there. And I'd really like to help you out in that respect. Again, thanks for joining me. And remember, all the strength you need is created on the inside and reinforced from the outside. All right, let's go out there and work out. Take care, everyone.